Hi, this is JB from JB at YouTube, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the evolution, the Turnigy evolution. In my point of view, it was a great upgrade from the Turnigy 9X. So I haven't had a FrSky Tyrannus. I've heard they're quite good, but I'm really happy with this purchase. The gimbals are really smooth. I find that my flying is a lot more precise now. A lot of people complaining that the sticks are too short. I actually like it because I can get to full throttle a lot easier, but you can undo these a little bit to get a bit of extra height, and you can also buy some extra attachments that are a little bit longer if you want, if you like doing the pinching, but you know, some of the people that do pinching have tried them out and they said, look, it's fine how it is. Okay, so improved features from the 9X. Of course, the problem is you can't run FrSky in this receiver as yet, but the FlySky receivers are pretty good. So obviously size is a factor. Portability, it comes with a cover so you can easily pack it. It takes up less room in the box, so you can fit a lot of other things in the carry case, okay, which is good. And you know, I just like the way ergonomically it's great. So look, there's a lot of pluses, a few minuses, in which case there's only a 5 model memory. However, I don't think that's a limitation for most people. Now, one thing that everyone has a problem with is the actual sound. So the problem is that there is a tiny speaker up in the top here. I'll just turn it on, and that's the sound there. That's turned all the way up, by the way, and the problem is that there is there's a cable coming off this touchscreen that wraps right around the front of the speaker. What I want to do is, apart from moving the speaker to a different location and maybe inserting a hole somewhere, I also wanted to install this thing, which is like a little haptic feedback vibration motor. This one's out of a phone. You can sort of buy similar ones. This is out of an iPhone 4. I'm sure they're fairly cheap, but there are other ones available on Banggood. Now I want to install that as well, because the problem I've had is that this, ta-da! So although there is some feedback here for the flight packs, which is great, you know, the Turnigy 9X doesn't have that. You can see that there. So you can set you know, high voltage, low voltage, and an alarm voltage. And I will plug this guy in. Okay, and we'll get some external, I'll plug the external. I will select that it's a 4S. It automatically comes up with some recommendations, and it's saying my battery's too low. So it's all, I assume it's already below the alarm voltage, which is 14.8 volt. Now I don't know about you, but the red lights are pretty useless when you're wearing your FPV goggles. However, the sound, you know, if you're flying around, there's 3 or 4 other guys flying around, it's almost impossible to hear that. Look, it's a great feature. It's probably the best feature, and it's also the worst implemented feature. All you really needed was a bigger speaker, or a hole for the speaker at least. But where the speaker is at the moment, there's no way of getting a better sound, so we're going to have to move it. Okay, so the next part of the video will be on addressing that issue. There are 8 screws, 6 of them are easily accessible. Now the other 2 are located behind the hand grips. Now the hand grips are rubber, so you just put your fingernails in there and just carefully remove the rubber pieces. Okay, so now there's 2 screws here, or one there and one there, which I will take out. Okay, so this just pulls apart just carefully, and there is a ribbon cable, just there. So just pull it out slowly. There it is there. Now we can get rid of this piece. And everything is here. Now the speaker is right in there. So I will loosen off this board here with the 4 screws and we'll just have a closer look. Look at the antennas here. There is like a stick-on type of patch antenna, I guess, on each side. People have tested this out to about 1 kilometre range, no problem. So don't be worried about losing range with this thing, as long as you stick to the main, the supplied receiver, which is the IA6C. Now we'll just have a look behind here, and you can see here is the that little speaker. It's quite tiny. The problem is, as you can see as I'm folding it in, this ribbon cable that comes from the touchscreen is like directly in front of the hole. So I don't know who designed this thing, but I think that was like a major stuff up. Unfortunately, we're going to have to move it now. We won't be able to pull this piece off until we disconnect this ribbon. So I think there's a way of, like, you could probably use your thumbs to just push that bit out. And pull this ribbon out. Okay, so I'm just going to try that carefully. There we go. Okay, so that's out. So this I've pushed that little bit out, and we just need to pull this out. Now it's stuck on with some double-sided tape. So I'll just remove that tape. And I just hope I don't rip anything here, but just be very careful with this. I'm going to just turn the camera off and do it offline for a sec. Okay, so just by carefully using a blunt screwdriver, I was able to pry back the double-sided tape. And then of course the ribbon just popped out there, so don't be too worried about that. Now you can see that there are 2 solder points here. One there and one there. Now these two are from the back of the little microphone. Apparently this one is the positive, but I'll have a bit of a look when I take it out. So I'm gonna unsolder this thing, and I'm just going to attach some wires and then run it to a slightly different location, maybe a bit lower down here, and put a little hole in the case. Okay. So that's the plan. Now this thing should just come out quite easily. There we go. And I can get to the front there. Looks like there's a couple of connector points here and here, so that I could remove the whole board assembly and make it a little bit easier to work on. Okay. So yeah, just don't forget to unplug these aerials. There's one there and one there. They basically just pull off with your fingers. They're not too hard to get on and off. Okay, but do be careful. That allows the board to come right out now. So I've unplugged that connector, this connector, and these two. I'm trying to keep it really easy because I know you guys are going to be stressing about doing this mod at home. So I just wanted to make it easy for everyone so that you don't panic. Now, I'm assuming you're not going to touch the screen. Just be careful of that. And all we really want to do is remove this. So we just need to support the board, and we just need to desolder that wire and push the speaker through so that we connect our own wires. Okay, all I'm doing here is trying to remove some of this solder. And just trying to push that through with the end of the soldering iron. There it is, it's basically just about out now, so I'm gonna just hold on to it and then try to pull it out by hand. There we go, I can feel that. Feel that? Okay, it's out. Okay, so this thing is out now, and you can see that the top's marked as positive anyway, so we should be right. And there is a little positive symbol on the speaker, so that's fine. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just solder some real tiny wires to here, and we'll try to just move that speaker down to a better location. Okay, so it's really up to you where you want to add the microphone. I want to put it over here. Now I've noticed on the case, just below the gimbal, there's a little bit of a bulge in the back, so you got to be a bit wary about where you put it. I think if we could probably also add it about here. So just trying to put the case on and kind of looking sideways, you can see where there's enough room to add the speaker, and I'm thinking actually right there. So kind of I'll just position it there. So I'm just going to kind of mark where the center point is, which I think is about there. Yep. And I'm just going to attach that with some hot glue. And the other thing we just need to do is run just a little cable from underneath to that particular point. So I'll connect that to the speaker terminals and run that to about there. So I'll cut that around about there. Okay. I'm also going to attach this little vibration buzzer, if I can find where it is. There it is. I'll attach that little vibration buzzer as well. Hopefully there's enough room for that, and I will allow the full length of the cable so I can get that down somewhere around where your hand is, so you'd be able to feel it. Probably there. Okay, so I'll just attach that cable and see how far it goes. Soldering the wires to the bottom of the microphone now. Just make sure you get your black and your positive wire around the right way. Like I said, there is a marking on the other side of the speaker, so shouldn't be that big an issue. Alright, that's pretty secure. I'll attach the wires to this little motor, and I'm not sure whether positive and negative matters in this case, so I'll just solder on either side, or any side. Okay, so I decided to simplify the wiring a little bit. I went to the speaker and then from the speaker to the vibration motor. Look, in honesty, you're probably not going to need the vibration motor, so just try the speaker mod initially and see how you go. I'm just going to solder this with the black to this side and the plus to that side. Like I said, it's clearly marked, so you can't really go wrong. Okay. Alright, well that's not going to come off. That's good. Just going to place that back in there. That could probably route underneath actually. There we go. Now, where I've put that dot is where this speaker is going to go. So I'm going to drill a hole right there. Okay. hole doesn't need to be too big. I've just chosen about a 1.5mm drill bit. There we go. I think that should be right. And I'll just secure that with some hot glue. I'll just wait for that glue gun to heat up a little bit. While I'm doing that, I could probably just put those screws back in. So I'll just finish putting the screws in, and I've attached the two connectors back where they were. Now just get this serial out of the way. It's going to get a bit messy in there. Okay, now we just want to hold this in here, just over that point where we've drilled the hole, and just put some hot glue in there. Probably a bad orientation for that motor, so I'll just bring that motor around. Okay, just wait for that to dry, and I think we should be right. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the motor. I'm just going to glue it down the bottom here, so it could be a little tricky getting the nozzle in there, but well, without getting any on the motor itself. But maybe we could just do it on the side here as well. Okay, we'll get back to that. Okay, now I'm just going to grab this motor. Now what's important with this motor is make sure that it's not touching the sides. So just put a little dab of glue on the base, and let's just glue it on, and we'll make sure we leave enough room for the motor to spin. And yeah, unless it spins, it's not going to work. So we'll just hold that there while it dries, and we can give the whole thing a little bit of a test, see how it goes. Again, just align that nicely over the top, press down. There we go, and just feed that through. So I put this one around here. I can't remember where it was, to be honest, but seems to look better if it's around there. Okay, last thing we need to do is reinstall this cable. So just push that back in underneath as far as it goes. Just hold it there and just pull that back with your thumb, and that's locked it in. Just press down to put the double-sided tape back in. Put it on. Yep. So the motor is spinning. If I hold my hand next to the motor, I can definitely feel that. It's not very powerful, but it's something that you can feel for sure. I'll just turn that off. Now there is some sort of mod that I've seen on one of the other videos, which allows you to get a bit of extra power to the motor, and that does involve connecting another wire from the positive to the resistor here. I'm not going to try that as yet. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm just going to see how this mod goes now with the extra loudspeaker and the motor, and see how I go with my batteries. Okay, hope you found that useful. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you guys come up with, because it's really the main issue with this controller. Everything else, I would recommend this controller without any hesitation. Okay, thank you, and check you later.